and I'm here finally with the Let's Play Strange Games Monster Japan contest winner, Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence. Konami presents. Yeah, a bunch of stuff happened in Cuba and Vietnam and the moon. Game by Hideo Kojima. He's a great man.
I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I'd like to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. Someday you go through the rain, and someday you'll feed on a tree frog. It's ordeal, the trial to survive. For the day we see new light, I give my life not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I'd like to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
Okay, so we're back now. The reason I didn't say anything during that whole thing was because I showed a lot of characters, as you could see. A lot of characters that are going to be in this game, obviously, but I'm not going to really talk about them or get into them. We'll see once we actually get into the game. I want you guys to see firsthand, because there's a bunch of people out there who have never played Metal Gear Solid before in their life. I want you to see firsthand the vision of Hideo Kojima. But, you know, I don't plan on just doing this one game. I plan on going for the whole series. I'll try to anyway. It's going to be a long, long journey. A very long journey. A long, personal journey. Very personal. Let's go for the actions. Walking, you press the left analog stick and you tilt it and you can walk. But then you can run if you hold it down as you normally would when you're playing the game. But sometimes running can be very noisy though, so be careful when you're running in this game. Not crawling. Basically hold down the X button, hold it down or press it twice, go into a crawling position, and it makes you less noticeable to the enemy. Crouching, standing. Basically what I just said before. Yeah, in this game, I used to have Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. It's Subsistence, so it's like the updated version. But Snake Eater, I don't think they allowed you to do first person view. I don't even remember now. It's been so long since I played that version. I never had Snake Eater, then I got Subsistence. And you can climb trees and stuff like a monkey by pressing the triangle button. I think you only actually have to do that once though in the whole game, which is kind of weird. Whatever. Yeah, basically you can improve your aim and snipe people better. Basically it allows you to swim underwater. Get to eat snakes underwater. Ooh. But your stamina goes down and your O2 gauge goes down. If it goes down all the way, your health starts to decrease, and once that goes down, you die. You drown. Rolling attack. One of the best methods in the game, probably. You can roll into enemies. If you roll into one enemy, there's another enemy right there. That'll knock both of them over in some cases, even if you don't actually hit the enemy with your rolling attack. Just the other enemy falling over will hit the other enemy, and then it'll be like dominoes. Intrusion view. Kind of sounds like you're like spying on some woman in the shower or something, but nope, that's not really the case. Not in this game anyway. Basically, you go under a log or something, or go in some cave, a little cave hole, and you can like kind of look from there. Basically the same thing as climbing a tree, except you're like, so when you're climbing boxes and stuff, it's like you just kind of jump on the box. Alright, let's go to intermediate. Hanging. You gotta be careful. If you press X, you will die. And your O2 gauge comes up again, and like once that goes down, you just fall instantly. So if you're hanging over like a hit or a trap, you're dead. You're instantly dead. Also, you can do pull-ups, and it increases your strength, I guess. I've never actually done that before. Basically, it's a quick way of reloading. It works in all the MGSs except for MGS4. One of my favorite CQC attacks, besides being able to interrogate people, but this is also pretty fun too because it instantly takes them out no matter what. Get them in a chokehold, and from there you have 3 different actions you can do. Let's go for them right now. Interrogate them. Press L3 to interrogate. They'll give you information sometimes. Sometimes they say fuck you. And then it goes to, and then if they say fuck you, slit their throat. Kill that motherfucker. Kill that motherfucking piece of shit. Yeah. Yeah, you're dead. You're dead, motherfucker. And also human shield, just press R1 and then you can basically just use that person as a shield, and the enemies usually won't attack, but sometimes they will attack and kill their own person. While you're like having a chokehold, which is kind of messed up, but whatever. Russians gotta do what they gotta do, I guess. KGB, GRU. And from here, you can actually just like throw him down and then threaten him from there. And usually they won't do anything. Usually they won't get back up. And sometimes what you can even do is like, if you have like no ammo left, you can throw him down and then be like, hold him up, and then he'll be scared and then just run away. Peeking. Basically peek from the corner. And you can pop out shoot from there. They don't, I think it's in advanced mode now. They talk about that. You can take some drugs and stuff that'll make your aiming better, but those are very rare. So you usually don't come by them that often, unfortunately. The drugs. Yep, corner jump out shooting. Basically, when you're peeking, you can press, I don't remember what button it is. I think you press L, R1, R square, the shooting button. You just jump out and start shooting. Not really recommended though. I don't usually do that. Basically allows you to sidestep. It's supposed to be able to like allow you to dodge enemy attacks, but it doesn't usually work. I guess if you're like hidden behind like an object, it'll work. But if you're just standing there in plain view trying to dodge, you're gonna end up getting hit like a retard. So don't even try it. Basically, when you're hanging, you can do shots. I've really used this one before because there's not a lot of places where you can hang in the game, but you can hang and shoot, which is kind of cool. Drag, one of the most useful techniques in the game. Basically, you grab the body, whatever body it is, and hide it somewhere. You either hide it somewhere or you just shake the body down to get items off of them. That way, you'll be able to like not lose ammo and also be able to hide the enemy body, so that other like troops that see the body, they won't see the body and be alerted to your position. Enemies' heavy weapons. Basically allows you to use machine guns, rocket launchers, all that good stuff. This is a good technique for like when you want to distract the enemy off their course. Basically they'll go to where your position is and then you run away. And usually what the best thing to do is like go circle around that box right there and go behind them and then fucking take them out. Oh yeah, that's for overhead view. That was the old Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, where it had like the overhead view instead of like the third person view. First person, third person. I don't really know the difference. I don't play shooters that much. Whatever the Resident Evil 4 view is, whatever the fuck that is, or behind the character. Now it has that kind of view, so we don't really need to use overhead view anymore, which is good because I like it the way it is now. Disarming. It's kind of hard to do though, but you can shoot a weapon out of enemy's hand and they'll drop it, or you can like shoot their radio so that they can't call their support team over to go and kill your ass. That's also very useful to do because every time they see you, they just go and call. They just go and call those people. Call them, and they ask what's going on. And then sometimes, even if you take out the enemy, they'll still like somehow be able to like get the mission support group to like get enemies over there for whatever reason. Be like, what's going on? Why'd you stop talking? Somebody go check it out. It's like, what the fuck? I should have killed him earlier. Hold up. Oh, one of my most favorite techniques in the game. Allows you to be super sneaky though. If they even dance for you. They dance for you. You have to be super sneaky though. You have to have your camo, the right camo on. You have to not make any noise. You can't step on any leaves or any grass. And you just have to like go up behind them and be like, freeze! Alright, that's all the techniques in the game. Now let's actually start the game. Let's go with MGS2. You know what? Let's do hard mode. I'm not going to do extreme mode because I already tried that yesterday and that's like impossible. But you know, I've done normal mode like 20 times and I've even done easy and very easy before. Let's try hard. Which is a little bit more interesting.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
So this game takes place in 1964. During the Cold War. It's gonna be a lot of cutscenes. And I ain't skipping any of them either. So you know what? If you want me to skip the cutscenes, too damn bad. Go watch someone else's Let's Play. Ready, skip all the cutscenes.
Flying over Pakistan. 2,000 feet.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check.
Oh my god.
Arm main parachute.
Paramedic.
You ready to go?
Zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cavo gas.
Honestly, I think she's one of the
Good.
sexiest
Got high visibility.
girls in Metal Gear Solid. Besides Meryl, but her and paramedic at both point.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector.
He ain't gonna put out that cigar. He's telling you, take out your cigar, put on your mask. He's like telling him what to do and shit. He thinks he's his boss or something. Fucking mask guy. Fucking got the
Does this panty waist know what he's doing?
panty waist. What the hell does that even mean? Panty waist.
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
My mask is already on, dumbass. Can't you see I'm writing? Slow motion cigar toss.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Ooh. Sounds kinky. Oh my god, it's too bright! Ah! Shit.
Sunrise.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
Stand up! I thought I was a player controller here.
Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bailout model.
This is one for the history books. The world's first Halo jump.
Halo. What's
10
this Metal Gear
seconds to
Solid?
drop off. Stand by. Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings and
Fly. God be with you.
Don't do it! Oh, he did it. Oh, he did it. He's... Oh my god. Why? Holy shit. My god. Can you imagine doing that? Directed by Hideo Kojima.
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our
Virtual
Fox unit
fighter.
depends on it.
The fuck
If it
is
succeeds,
virtual
we'll be
fighter?
officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission? Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov.
Sokolov.
He's head of the OKB-754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov. Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that
Good
carried
God lives in the
Gagarin
sun.
to orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development, become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story, so why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
To
Not
Mexico?
exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the West. We used a mole to get the family out first and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from
Hospital?
the facility in the Soviet
All you had to
Union
do was
Berlin.
fucking walk over a
Saying
fence.
here.
It's not like he got shot at or some shit.
It was only a week
Damn.
later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba.
Ballistic
The
missiles.
President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces
That guy's
on
pointing his
secondary
finger.
alert.
He's important.
Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed
guy's
to
not
remove
he's not
its
pointing his
missiles
finger
from
enough.
Cuba. And so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs
No, you're
deployed in
wrong.
Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
He's an important motherfucker.
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handed him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes, he was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision.
Should have stayed in the hospital.
More, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No, according to our intelligence, he's in Selino-Yarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
Okay, we are flying again, falling through the sky. Don't die! No! He hasn't even used his his parachute thing yet. When's he gonna use it?
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selino-Yarsk in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the west. If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking.
Alright, finally used it. Oof.
Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes.
Damn.
Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat-proof.
Where'd he get that scar in his eye
Sokolov is up
from?
to it.
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat Talon?
I totally wasn't
He's
controlling it
equipped
right
with
there.
two
For some
6-mile
reason, zoomed it on his
20mm
face.
Vulcan cannons,
Which
as
I
well
don't
as
mind
two
at all.
40mm
I don't
machine
mind it
guns.
at all.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Wait,
Even
was he
with the
talking
fuel in
about
the reserve
paramedic
tank, we're facing
or...
a 4-hour time limit.
What was he talking about? I wasn't
If
even
all
paying
goes
attention to what
well,
he
it
was
shouldn't
saying.
take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong,
You'll be eating dinner, breakfast,
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Snake eater. Oh shit. Lost our sack. Woo! I just wonder. I wonder how much a game would change if he went off the cliff. Like if he didn't release his parachute and just kept going. Would the game change so much that like... I don't know, I've always wondered that. What if he just went off to that clearing right there? Just went off into that wilderness right there, instead of where he just dropped off at. Probably a totally different game. Wait, we already saw his face, never mind. Jack David Hayter. Of course, David doesn't hate anybody, but that's his last name. Okay, it's been about 28 minutes. We are pretty close to the mark here. We've gone pretty long. So yeah, that's basically the gist of what MGS3 is all about. A lot of cutscenes, and sneaking, and riding. Forever! I will see y'all next time in parts 2 of Metal Gear Solid 3. Snake Eater.